Hu Tao is a weird girl. And don't take that the wrong way. It's Hu Tao supremacy all day long in this dojo. But she for sure lives an interesting life. From playing pranks on literally everyone to somehow running one of the most depressing professions I have ever seen someone take on in this lifetime, and still finding a way to have one of the most bubbliest personalities in the entire game. Hu Tao is truly a one of a kind. Hello everyone, I am Sakai Samurai, and today we are talking about everyone's favorite funeral parlor director, Hu Tao, and taking a look into the rather strange upbringing that she has had and seeing just how she has came to be the spoopy woman that she is today. The Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has been dealing with the deceased for a very long time, with Hu Tao being none other than the 77th director of the establishment. But long before she was running the service, little Hu Tao had already shown signs that she was indeed a very different girl. Just at the early age of 3 years old, she could already easily read at an advanced reading level, shocking and bewildering her entire family as they would find her reading ancient volumes of text, all written in old traditional dialect. And if that wasn't enough to wow you, she was reading these books while at the same time pulling off handstands. At just 3 years old! By the age of 6, she had already started to develop her own unique personality, seeing her lessons at school as boring and a complete waste of her time, often cutting class and ditching school altogether to sleep the day away inside of coffins at the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Just imagine being her parents. Would you be scared? Or would you be proud? I honestly don't know. By 8 years old, she seemed to have already found out what she wanted to do for the rest of her life. She had took it upon herself to live inside of the funeral parlor, considering that she already spent most of her time hanging around there anyway, and also she had family that worked there. It was here that she started to learn the ins and outs of the business, watching the funeral service and taking her own notes as she walked along beside them. The attendees who worked there would often find themselves being asked all sorts of random questions, with the young Hu Tao always following close behind them, observing how they did their jobs. At just the age of 13 years old, Hu Tao had already conducted her very first funeral ceremony. And although many staff members feared that she would do something unorthodox like pull a prank or set up a large display, she actually did the ceremony perfectly, as if she was born with a gift, which could indeed be possible. As for generations, the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has been a family-ran business, with the next in the bloodline to often pick up the art and continue the family tradition. All this brings us to the passing of her beloved grandfather. 10 days before his funeral had taken place, old Hu had passed away from battling a dreaded illness. With him being the 75th director, a grand funeral would take place in order to commemorate in his honor, with the old man's final wishes being a simple request. Written in his will, he wanted for Hu Tao herself to be the one to conduct his funeral. He had believed in her talents and knew that she had a natural-born gift, which she indeed did, and had executed the funeral flawlessly, with this being her very first ever funeral ceremony. Her grandfather's funeral was an emotional moment for her, with him playing an important role in her life, seeing him as a role model and being the one that inspired for her love in the funeral parlor in the first place. Because of how well Hu Tao handled herself during the ceremony, she would soon be labeled the 77th director, and for the many years afterwards, she would dedicate her life to the craft, seeing that the dead are to be handled properly and that they would cross over into the afterlife as peacefully as possible. Hu Tao would quickly grow into the woman that she is today, impressing and inspiring the staff of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor and leaving an everlasting mark on her family's legacy. Although many would also notice that after her grandfather's passing, the Hu Tao seemed to have changed that day. On the night of her grandfather's funeral, she had grabbed her travel bag and snuck quietly outside the funeral parlor, where she would then set out on a multiple-day journey to visit a mysterious location on where it is said that the dead freely roam before they depart into the afterlife. This location is known as Wuwang Hill, and it is known for harboring the souls of the lost who have never fulfilled their ambitions in life. Her reason for heading towards this ominous location is so that she can meet her grandfather one more time before he descended past the point of no return. Hu Tao would then go on to travel for the next 2 days straight, never stopping for rest or to sleep. only to eventually arrive to her destination disappointed. She did indeed find the souls of the lost, but none of them were her grandfather, and after searching all day after arriving, her poor body just couldn't go any longer, with her collapsing into the grass and falling into a deep sleep. She would awaken to find spirits laughing at her, telling her that a descendant of her family would never dare stay in these grounds, and that she had wasted her time coming here. Hu Tao didn't give up, however. Instead, she was unfazed by their words, staying put until she could finally meet her grandfather. It wasn't until that she saw the vision of an older woman appear before her that things started to make more sense. The old woman laughed softly and commended her for being just as stubborn as her grandfather was. She would then go on to tell Hu Tao that he simply was not here anymore, and that it was time for her to return home, knowing that he had passed on into the afterlife. In fact, it was right before that she had arrived that he had left this place and had crossed the border of no return. The poor, exhausted Hu Tao could only smile at the woman as she left, where she would then begin to make her way back home. On the trip back, she would begin to realize that she had come to this place for no reason. For the souls that wander here, or for the souls of the lost who never fulfilled their ambitions in life. Yet she had come here looking for her grandfather, where her grandfather was simply happy, and that he did not harbor such regrets. With thoughts like this that she could apply to her own life, that she herself needed to accept that death was reality and that she needed to enjoy her short life. It wasn't until she arrived home that she noticed that something was in her traveling bag, mistaking the bag as being empty, as she had long since ate all the food long since she arrived at home. Instead, her eyes would light up as she would find a shining vision laying inside. Thank you everyone so much for watching. That was Hu Tao's strange but interesting childhood, and I hope everyone enjoyed today's video. I do all sorts of Genshin Impact related content here on my channel, ranging from character lore all the way to the occasional parody video. If you liked today's video, drop me a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see what I got coming next down the line, as I'm currently working on a lore prep series to help get everyone ready for Fontaine. On a final note before ending today's video, I also have a TikTok now, where I post daily Genshin lore videos every single day. So if you would like to see some filler before my next lore video arrives, feel free to follow me over there as well. Anyways everyone, I shall see you all in the next video.